Hey, it's Monica Reyes, your energy and motivation coach. I'm here for you guys so you can live the life that you desire and the business that you deeply, deeply want. And today we are going to talk about good habits and morning rituals. Now, before we get started, go ahead and hit that subscriber button and you'll get notified every time I release a new video. And stay till the end because I've got something really special for you that I know you're going to like. All right, so in order to define what a good habit is, I want to tell you first what habits are in general. They are hardwired neural connections within your brain that you've done over and over and over and over and over again. What's interesting about habits is they originally started by a thought, right? You first thought something and then there was an action, some sort of behavior, and you do it enough where it becomes repetitive that now becomes hardwired within your brain. And your brain is an anatomical structure that is incredibly efficient, not always the smartest, but it's there in order to become energy efficient, right? It doesn't want to waste a lot of energy. So it creates these ways for you to now have habits so it doesn't have to expend an enormous amount of energy and you can do it like on autopilot, right? An example of this is you've probably driven and all of a sudden showed up and you're like, how the hell did I get here? Well, that was that was your automatic, your subconscious mind that allowed you to do that. And so your habits live in this place. The thing about habits, the thing about thoughts is that you have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. Let me repeat that, 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day. This is why it's so hard to change because you likely sleep on the same side of the bed. You wake up the same exact way, right? You go and you do whatever you do. You go straight to your coffee. You then brush your teeth. You do everything exactly the same every single day with little change until you have a aha moment or something radically shifts, something happens that shakes you up and now all of a sudden you're changing. So in essence, that is how a habit is formed. It's formed through first information and then repetition. And so that's exactly the way that we've got to change it. The way to change it first, obviously, is to be aware of the habit, to know what is this habit, and then deciding what is this new habit, and then again, shifting it and doing it over and over and over and over and over again. So here are the tips, here are the keys in order to change a habit into a good habit or a great habit. And then I'll give you also some tips on how to shift your morning ritual to provide you with more success throughout your day. So first, define what habit do you want to change, right? So maybe it's procrastination, maybe it's going on social media too much, maybe it's reacting emotionally, right? Determine which habit you want to change, right? So write it down, figure out what it is. Sometimes, depending on you, maybe you want to go a little deeper and see, why did this habit form in the first place? Is it something from my parents? Did I see this? Did I experience this as a child? I typically like to go there because I like to see and show myself that it's not mine, right? And that I can change it. Or maybe it's just that it no longer serves you. You are different than you were when you first created that habit. And so now it's time to create habits that actually serve you. So after you've determined what habit you want to change, now I want you to write down what habit do you want? What do you want to replace it with? So if it's procrastination, how can you stop procrastinating? If it's social media, how can you stop being on social media, right? Maybe it's rearranging your day. Maybe it's rearranging your schedule. Maybe it's going digital detox for a little bit. Maybe it's not picking up your phone the minute you wake up, right? Whatever it is, determining how do you want to shift it? How do you want to change this habit? That's number two. The third thing you want to do is figure out who do I need to be in order to shift this habit, right? So the person that you were created the original habit. Now you most likely are going to have to shift. You're going to have to change. You're going to have to break the habit of being yourself. That's actually an amazing book by Joe Dispenza, but you're going to have to change who you are in order to change this habit. So who do you need to be? And so I want you to write that down. So if it's, for instance, social media, right? You're on social media too much. So maybe you need to be more present. Maybe you need to be more in control, right? So the things that I would suggest for that person would be maybe meditate because you'd want to cultivate a little bit more awareness. Maybe it's being mindful. Maybe it's setting intentions. And if you don't know what intention is, I did a video on intentions and I'll put that linked on the iCard. But the key here is to step into that version of yourself. So once you figure out who who you need to be, I want you to actually step into that version, right? So instead of saying, I need to be more confident or I need to be more responsible, I want you to be like, I am responsible, I am confident. I want you to actually step into that and feel what it feels like to be present. Feel what it feels like to be responsible. Feel what it feels like to be confident. Whatever it is, whoever you need to be, that version actually already exists because everything is energy. You just need to feel it. So I want you to step into that. I want you to feel it, believe it, exist it, and then see how does this person, this version of you live, right? Imagining, visualizing yourself actually doing it, actually experiencing life in this way. And you may actually get insight as to what else you will need to do in order to support this new habit. And then the last thing, in order to really instill this good habit is going to be repetition. So consistency, right? Sometimes we'll need a support system. So if you're married, you have a girlfriend, then what you'll probably want to do is let them know, hey, I'm going to change this habit, so I need your accountability. I'm right, and then she's going to love that. I know that personally because my husband and I love to keep each other accountable. So really, really letting your environment know to support you, declaring it. Sometimes you have to, and really the hardest part of this process is going to be remembering. So put it on your schedule. I schedule everything on my phone, my calendar, like to meditate, to write down my goals, to visualize, right? So remembering, maybe it's Post-it notes, maybe it's just reminding yourself to do whatever it is. Maybe it's setting a reminder throughout the day, like to breathe, to be present, to pause, to get off social media, whatever it is, right? You just have to remind yourself. The hardest part is reminding yourself because you're so used to being this old self and having this habit. The other thing about this process is have compassion, because what you've got going on is just a program, right? You don't have to get on yourself. You don't have to beat yourself. That is not going to serve you. That's not the energy that's going to help you. The energy that's going to help you is compassion. All right. When we create resistance, that'll just keep that habit in place. What we want to do is have compassion, see it with neutrality and be like, all right, I did it again. Oops, I did it again, right? So it's just a program. It's really, really, really not a big deal, right? All right, so how can I choose differently today, right? Maybe I need to tweak and support my life so I can ultimately change this into a lifestyle. Now we're gonna get into morning ritual. So morning ritual. So what do you do right when you wake up in the morning, right? If it's look at your phone, that's the wrong answer. What's interesting about the phone, about looking into social media or emails, it creates an enormous amount of anxiety, and now your life is controlling you rather than vice versa, right? What you know if you've been watching this channel is that you're the creator of your own reality. And by looking at your phone immediately, you're not creating, you are going by default, right? So we want to change. First, we're going to start with taking an inventory as to what you do, and that takes awareness. So documenting, when I wake up, I do this, when I wake up, I do that, right? So what you may want to do instead is put something in front. So maybe it's drink a glass of water, maybe it's meditate, maybe it's drink my coffee before I look at my phone. Let me decompress, let me gain my bearings, right? The other thing you may want to do is even gratitude. As you've learned, if you've been watching me for some time, you'll see that gratitude is the way is one of the benefits of gratitude is manifestation, right? Gratitude is love, and love is the energy of the quantum field where all possibilities exist. So the first thing really, really great successful habit in starting your day and creating intentionally is like first thing, okay, I'm thankful for this, I'm thankful for that. 3 things that you're thankful for. And then what 3 things do you want? How do you want this day to play out? Intention, be intentional, right? What would make this a win today? And then visualize really connect to the intention, see it already happening. What does it feel like? And who do I need to be? Those would be the top things that I would add to my morning ritual, which I already do. The other thing I would add would be also meditation. And really that is an energetic landscape and an energetic way will set you up for success and set you up for the day that you desire, exactly what you're looking for. And if it doesn't happen exactly, then just trust that whatever happened is for your highest good and it's exactly what was supposed to happen, because there are no mistakes in the universe. All right, well, thank you so much for joining me. I hope these tips have brought you some value, and as promised, you can find my 7 high-performance tips for living an extraordinary life down below. And I hope that you have an amazing morning and an amazing week, a powerful, powerful present week. And as always, stay mindful.